Welcome to Midnight Story. When the night falls silent and shadows grow longer, this is where horror and mystery begin. Real stories, urban legends, secrets never told. Be prepared, because something unseen might be watching you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and of course subscribe, so you never miss the next terrifying tale. Because here, every midnight has a story. The tranquil waters of Black Hollow Lake glistened under the fading sunlight. Claire and her group of friends arrived at the old cabin by the lake, ready for a weekend of relaxation and laughter. The locals had warned them about the lake, tales of disappearances and strange lights, but the group brushed it off as superstition. As the night deepened, a mist began to creep over the surface of the water. Claire thought she saw a figure standing on the far shore, but when she pointed it out, the others laughed. Still, an uneasy feeling settled in her chest. The cabin creaked with every gust of wind. Claire lay awake, staring at the ceiling as whispers seemed to float through the air. She got up to check the others and found that Jason, her best friend, was missing. Panicked, she rushed outside and found him standing by the dock, staring into the water. When she called his name, Jason turned to her with blank eyes. "It's calling me," he said before collapsing. Claire dragged him back to the cabin, her heart pounding. Something was wrong with the lake. The next morning, Claire visited the local diner, hoping to learn more about the lake. An old man named Edgar told her a chilling tale. Decades ago, a village had been submerged when the dam was built. The spirits of the drowned villagers, he claimed, lingered beneath the surface, pulling the living to their doom. "Stay away from the lake at night," Edgar warned. "It feeds on fear." Jason woke up with strange markings on his arm, spirals and symbols etched into his skin like tattoos. He didn't remember how they got there. Claire took photos, hoping to research the symbols. Meanwhile, the others decided to go for a swim, dismissing the old man's story as nonsense. As they splashed in the water, Claire noticed ripples moving against the current. Something was watching them from below. That evening, Claire studied the photos she'd taken of Jason's markings. The symbols matched those from an old book on occult rituals. The markings were a curse, binding Jason to the lake. When Claire looked out the window, she saw a pale figure standing on the water. Its face was obscured, but its presence filled her with dread. She grabbed her flashlight and ran outside, but the figure vanished, leaving only ripples behind. Determined to uncover the truth, Claire convinced her friends to join her on a boat ride to the center of the lake. Using a sonar device, they discovered the submerged ruins of a church steeple. As they peered into the water, a cold hand brushed Claire's ankle, and she screamed. The boat rocked violently, nearly capsizing. They returned to shore, shaken but unharmed. Claire knew they had disturbed something that didn't want to be found. Jason's condition worsened. He spoke in a strange language and seemed to be drawn to the water. Claire found a diary in the cabin. It belonged to the previous owner, who had tried to lift the lake's curse but failed. The diary detailed a ritual involving an offering to appease the spirits. Fog rolled in thick and fast, isolating the cabin. The group heard whispers coming from the lake, calling their names. One by one, they began to see visions of loved ones who had passed away, luring them closer to the water. Claire fought to keep everyone inside, but the whispers grew louder, more insistent. It was as if the lake itself was alive. One of their friends, Lisa, succumbed to the whispers. They found her by the shore, staring into the water with lifeless eyes. When they tried to pull her away, she resisted, screaming, "They need me!" Lisa waded into the lake, disappearing beneath the surface. The group searched frantically but found no trace of her. Claire vowed to end the curse, no matter the cost. Claire sought out Father Thomas, a reclusive priest who had once served in the area. He revealed that the villagers had made a dark pact before the flood. To protect their land, they had sacrificed an innocent child. The curse was their punishment. Only by breaking the pact can the souls be freed, Father Thomas said. But it requires great sacrifice. The group discovered a cave hidden in the cliffs surrounding the lake. Inside were carvings depicting the pact and the ritual to undo it. As they explored, shadows moved along the walls, watching them. Jason's markings began to glow faintly, and he collapsed, muttering in the strange language again. The diary and carvings revealed that an offering of pure intent was needed to break the curse. Claire realized that Jason, now marked by the lake, was the intended sacrifice. Desperate to save him, she searched for an alternative. That night, Claire was visited by the spirit of the sacrificed child. It wept as it revealed the truth. The pact could only be undone if someone willingly took the place of the cursed souls. Claire's resolve wavered, but she couldn't abandon her friends. A violent storm descended on the lake, as if the spirits were enraged by their interference. The group barricaded the cabin, but water seeped in through the cracks, carrying with it whispers and ghostly faces. They were running out of time. Jason's body began to change. His skin grew pale and his eyes took on an unnatural glow. He spoke of the lake's hunger and begged Claire to let him go. "It's the only way," he said. But Claire refused to give up on him. The group returned to the cave, determined to perform the ritual. They descended deeper than before, finding an altar covered in bones. As they prepared the offering, the spirits attacked, their wails deafening. Jason's glowing markings repelled them, giving Claire the chance to finish the incantation. Jason, regaining clarity, realized what needed to be done. He embraced Claire, thanking her for fighting for him, and stepped onto the altar. The markings on his body flared brightly, and the spirits began to dissolve. Claire screamed, but it was too late. The storm subsided, and the lake grew still. The whispers ceased, and the oppressive aura lifted. Claire and the others emerged from the cave, battered but alive. Jason's sacrifice had broken the curse, but the loss weighed heavily on them. As the sun rose, Claire saw the spirits of the villagers standing on the water. They bowed their heads in gratitude before fading away. The lake, once cursed, now seemed at peace. But Claire knew she would never forget what had happened. Months later, Claire returned to the lake alone. She placed flowers by the shore, honoring Jason's memory. The water was calm, reflecting the sky like a mirror. For the first time, the lake felt alive in a different way. Not with malice, but with hope.